We can't be muted. What about for us? We cannot be muted. Welcome to Wisdom in the Weave.
Hello, everyone. This is a special recording of special live recording of our podcast, Wisdom in the Weave. As you can see, there are several of us all in one place, which rarely happens because we are spread all over. We're everywhere, and we've had a whole week of summer solstice preparation and festivities, and that's why everybody's here, and it's great. Wisdom in the Weave is an open Q&A with the unbound witches of Bright and Dark. These are witches who are experts in helping neurodivergent magical practitioners repair their relationship with their life and their magic. This is something that we all do. Like, this is our passion. This is our legacy. And this is an open Q&A for you to be able to ask us anything you want to know about witchcraft and community, and even about us if you have any questions. We're going slightly rogue today. We were supposed to be talking about what we call perspectives and shifts in perspectives, and how important it is for you to look at how you've been taught to look at the world. So we're going to touch on that, but first we wanted to talk about what we've been doing here at Weird Brook this week and answer any questions that anyone would have about that. My name is Jen Marie. I'm an initiated high priestess and sorceress of chaos. I wrote the Grimoire of the Ungovernable, and all of this is my fault, honestly. All of it. I'm going to be passing the mic because we have two mics that we're sharing, and I'm going to pass the mic to Sass.
Hello, my name is Sarsaparilla. I am the Mediamancer at Bright and Dark. I work behind the scenes, editing, chopping up videos, scheduling social media, holding the lantern so y'all can find us.
And then here's Morgana.
Hello, I'm Morgana. I am the co-steward here of Weird Brook with Jen Marie. I'm also a legal witch and a dancing witch, and just making sure everyone has a safe space to come hang out over here in Maine. Over to Ocean.
I'm gonna let Arrow and Silver introduce themselves first.
Yeah, sorry.
You guys go. I'll be right back. That's Ocean's code for I need to turn off notifications because it's so just
I'm Arrow. I am the chaos coordinator, event coordinator, and the steward of our Altar Crew and Unbound Coven.
Hello, I'm Silver, and I'm a professor of myth and magic. And that kind of just means that I do a lot of narrative work in addition to shadow work. And I host Shadow Study weekly, where we get to dive into the journal prompt in a more focused way and like more studious way. I also do some video editing as part of the narrative work, and kind of I'm documenting our whole process on everything that everybody's describing, pretty much. All right, I'll hand it off to Ocean.
And I'm Ocean. I am the ritual architect of belonging at Bright and Dark, and because I'm on a journey of belonging myself, and it's really my passion to support people who have felt like they couldn't belong anywhere, and that is and that couldn't find community, and
people that
You're doing a great job.
still that are still looking for their power, I guess would be a really good way to put it. Because I love watching witches remember their power. That's like a really special thing. So that's what I do here. I watch witches.
That's not creepy or anything.
It's meant to be though.
And that's why we love it.
It's hard to describe or explain a lot of times what it is that we do because we're so integrated into this whole ecosystem that we've created. And explaining that to someone who hasn't like seen firsthand what it is that we're actually building is really, it's complicated. There's no like easy way to, it's like trying to explain the, what chocolate tastes like when you've never tasted chocolate before. Explaining what community is like to someone who's never really navigated a matriarchal community. I think that that's really important to stress that this is a non-hierarchical, massive underground community of neurodivergent witches, and we all have a part to play, and the Unbound are fully dedicated. The best way to explain like who the Unbound are and what they do is to explain them like they are clergy, very specially trained clergy, minimum of 3.5 years of intensive study and mentorship and internship and community service to get to where they are right now, to be able to get that title of Unbound. They've really done that work. We did a ritual the other day and I want to talk about it. I'm not very good at like subtleties or transitions, so I'm going to dive into it. My favorite thing to do, the thing I could do all day long, every day, is writing and performing group ritual. I absolutely love it. I love creating the layers and radically inclusive group rituals. And it's something that I've done for decades, and I have a lot of fun with it, adding the layers to it. And so every time we do a big group ritual, there's something different going on. So to explain this group ritual, I think I need to give a little bit of backstory, and then they're going to explain their experience of it because they were here. They did it too. So don't laugh at me.
No, you really did. I absolutely did.
Okay, so the theme of this ritual, the goal is to celebrate community and the power of collaborative manifestation of groups of people working together in order to make something bigger than its parts, right? And so the first part of the ritual, and this was an all-day kind of thing. The night before the ritual, they were given a prompt. Do you remember exactly what the prompt was?
I have it written down.
They were given a prompt where they had to make a list and start thinking about all of what beliefs do you have about community that are harmful or that stop you from engaging in it, right? These are beliefs like I'm too much, I'm too weird, that I'll lose myself in community, all of these kinds of beliefs that keep us from actually engaging. And so we woke up the next day, they came in, and what we did with those beliefs is we had them write on these blocks. They're remnants of projects around the homestead. They're writing on these blocks what those beliefs were. Each block got a different belief. And they were supposed to get as many as they can possibly come up with. And the only instruction they had was that they would build something with it. Do you guys want to talk about your experience with your list? Should I like stop and give you guys time to weigh in? Yeah, probably. So do you want to talk? Who?
Yeah.
Any?
Go ahead. Yeah.
We didn't actually discuss if we were like going to raise our hands or how we were going to actually denote who's going to go next. But did you want to
Sure.
talk about your list?
Yeah, about my list. I spent most of that night making the list in my head, and then when I was up at 3 a.m. thinking about my list, I was sad that I didn't write them down because it was 3 a.m. and I was mad that I was awake. So I had to sort of dig back into that in the next morning. Always write your shit down, please. That's the moral of my story today. And date it. I had fun with the blocks. I put things on it like, quotes that people have said to me that may have been hurtful that still, ring in my head sometimes when I'm thinking about it. Sometimes it was as simple as one word, like control. Sometimes it was describing images of things that I might be afraid of in community. So I ended up with more blocks than I had thought. And then I stopped myself because what I found myself doing was, as I generally do, is looking for something wrong in that practice of writing the blocks. And I tend to do that with so many things in my life, looking for something wrong to give me a safe way out, an excuse to remove myself. And so I found myself doing the same thing with the blocks, and I noticed it, and that's where I stopped. So I learned something even in that practice.
Yeah, my experience with the ritual was very similar, except that I feel like I already had a list running in my head of exactly what was wrong with me that I had already been writing down before I even got the prompt, because I was like trying to figure out exactly. It's so hard because you really want describing your giftings to be super clear and simple, like I can breathe underwater, or something like that, but it's so much more complex and nuanced than that. So I feel like I came out here to Weirdbrook to like kind of understand like my giftings better, so I could like describe them better to people. So this ritual, uh I was like, man, I have this whole freaking list, am I really going to take up all these blocks? And so what I did was I took my list and I went to Claude AI, and I was like, hey, what are the similar threads? Like, is there any of these that are exactly the same that like repeated? And there was at least two that they were like, these are pretty much the same, but you just worded it differently. I'm like, cool. And then I was like, uh, what what are the main threads here? Like, what are the main, themes throughout these things? And I kind of looked into it. I was like, okay. And then I took the data, and then I took the way that I processed it, and then I started writing on the blocks. And what I did though was, instead of just trying to write them directly, I turned it into an art piece. Each thing I was noticing that either two things that I had said were like two sides of the same coin, or that I was afraid of things going in either direction. Like, I took one of my blocks and I wrote on one side valuable, and then the next side not valuable, and then the next side valuable, and then the next side not valuable. And it's like a toss of the dice whether or not I'm like valuable is like what it feels like. Or other ones were like two sides of the same coin. I would write one thing on one side and the other thing on the other side, because they felt like they were connected. Like two opposite things that kind of like wrap back around on each other when you go further into it. And I've been I did a cold read on the barn. I want to say, I'm not going to go all the way into it, I promise. But I did a cold read on the barn, and that's where we were dancing at for the ritual. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's why you looked at me.
Yeah, we're just talking about blocks.
We're just talking about the blocks. I'm sorry. So ADHD of me. I'm just really excited.
Circle back and lock in.
Circle
Just
back.
the blocks.
Yes. Okay. So, and I also noticed I broke one of them too because I was just tossing them into my apple crate, trying to like write down as many as I could. I was like, I'm not gonna have enough blocks to build with. Like, I need more and more. And I was just tossing them, like haphazardly. And I noticed when I went to build them, I had broken one of them by tossing it. And I thought that was really interesting too because um, the broken piece became its own kind of like chunk of it. And it also kind of told me it was like, when they say like when a bracelet breaks or a crystal breaks that you don't need it anymore, like it served its purpose, it's like, done its job or supported you how it needs to, and now your paths are ready to diverge or whatever. That's kind of what this felt like. It felt like that one in particular was like totally done. Like, there's patterns that we go deeper into and we like spiral down into to like understand better. And I can't even actually remember at this moment what was on that block, but that told me that that particular one was like, that's done. That cycle has been broken. So yeah, I do my rituals like an art piece.
Morgana was Alter Crew. Yeah, Morgana was my co-conspirator in
No block.
the ritual, so she has no blocks.
I brought the block.
That might tie into a question that is here.
Okay.
About asking if there were specific roles that everybody takes on.
Yes. That's an exciting sound. You know what that sound means? Did you guys hear that sound?
Is it dying?
That means that the speaker's dying, which is awesome. But we're gonna go with it and see what happens. There are specific roles when you are performing group ritual, and every group is going to call these roles a little bit different depending on the tradition. The tradition that we practice is radically inclusive, so we try to either use like unique names and not take from another tradition, or what we do is we call those who are actually facilitating the ritual, that's the altar crew. Those are the people that are involved in creating that sacred space and guiding the practitioners who are there through the process. Every facet of the rituals that I write, I want them thinking deeply about it, the participants. And so these, giving them time to really think about their blocks. This is the release part of this ritual. The ritual that, again, we are raising energy for community, right? And the power of working together as a community and collaboratively creating a reality that we all thrive in is kind of specifically the energy that we were raising for this. So we got to look at why we don't already have that. So we got to look at why we don't already have that. And so that was the purpose of the blocks. And so what they then did was we have a ritual space that we call the meadow, and it is it's up this pathway that looks like you're walking. It's up this pathway that looks, I'm repeating myself because we're actually like gonna like cut that out. I got to be all like professional about it. So we walk up this pathway that is a tunnel of vegetation. So you're like walking through this. So you're like walking. This is fun, guys. Thanks for doing this with me.
I love this for you, Sasha.
This is us showing up raw and real.
It's so loud. I'm sorry.
I've got my work cut out for me.
The editing of this podcast. Let's shout out to Sarsaparilla, who's going to need to do so much clippity clipping about it. Are you sweating? Will you say something, Arrow, or sing to us?
Well, since we're using this on a podcast, I will not sing. I will not. force
Perfect.
anybody to have to deal with that.
Thank you.
We don't need additional thing for Sass to cut out is my lovely voice. I can dance.
Sweating. So all of them that wrote on their blocks, we had them put them in these like easily 100-year-old apple crates that we found in the apple barn that's here on the homestead. And so they're carrying their crates up to the ceremonial site, the meadow. And in the meadow, I have an altar set up for each of them, a table with a tablecloth. And they came up carrying their crates full of blocks, and they each chose their altar, whichever one called to them. We had, again, these really cute vintage tablecloths on all of the altars. Anyway, so I kind of ran them through reconnecting with that and instructed them to place their blocks on the altar in a way that made sense to them, build something, and then put their crates underneath the table. And so they did. Do you guys want to talk about what you built and why you built it real quick, or should I continue? So they placed their blocks on their altar. Let's see what time. We're like, time is flying by. So let's keep going so that we
I built a house
did you guys hear
with
that?
stairs.
So they took a time and they built these structures on their tables, and then we reconnected to the blocks and did a meditation, and I had them vocalize. I'm trying to think of which bits to share and which bits not to share, because there are some that are not to share. But so they vocalized 3 times quietly first to get everyone tuned in, and then they vocalized at their blocks, hand on their altar, vocalize at their blocks. Then I had them put their hands under to support the altar, and then vocalize, and then I had them flip the tables, and it was the most glorious thing to watch these witches fucking launch those tables in the air. Blocks flying everywhere. It was so cool to watch them flip the tables. Do you guys want to talk about it?
I'm still excited by it. Like, I think I'm gonna have to find a way to make this a regular part of my practice. And there's often table flipping comments in our conversations in the community. And when you were having us move our hands around the table at first, the first couple positions, I didn't fully understand why, but the minute you had us put our hands under the table, I knew I was gonna flip this table, and I was so excited to launch this table. Like, I want to be a table flipper, right? Like, in my life, this is one of the things that I want to do. And the sounds that came out of me when I was launching this table were, I mean, just almost disconnected, like so powerful. And I really just loved that moment. It was a powerful release, it was a moment of celebration, right? And I was able to let go with my voice in ways that I not typically are aren't typically very easy for me. So I really, really, that might be my favorite release that I've done at Ritual so far.
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Oh,
Don't threaten me with a good
Get it
time.
now.
Challenge accepted. Go ahead.
I had no idea we were gonna flip the table. I was like, I put my hands under it. I was like giving the table my energy to like help support. Like I was fully in that mode of like just like supporting the table. And then she was like, and then flip that table. And like for a second I was like, I'm allowed to do that. Like this is totally like my brain took into consideration for a second, like, will there be damage done if I flip this table? I'm like, no, I can totally do this and it's okay. And yeah, I like let out like a yell and like did it. It was so fun. And uh it felt so natural, honestly, to like be flipping that table. I was like, have I done this before? Because this is so me. Like I also would like to be a table flipper. I think we found a new headline for our StreamYard table flipper.
Oh,
Assistant director table flipper. And just being able to make a mess and walk away from it confidently was a whole feeling too. Can I just say that, like, because it's like anytime I make a mess, I'm just immediately cleaning it up, like directly afterwards and trying to like make things better and stuff. Doing that and then just walking away confidently knowing that like this is all important, including the mess, was like a really good feeling.
Yeah, so I had them then just walk away from it. So you so there's okay.
I'm psychic.
The problem with trying to surprise a community of damn psychics is so hard. It's so hard. It takes some mad skills to surprise these witches because any disruption in the force and they're on it. They are so on it. So, as we have shown. So I had them, raise their hands in the air as after they flipped the table, and then and then the music started booming from the barn. So this just like heavy beat music, and we just walked away from the mess and followed the music into the barn, and which the barn is a whole vibe too. And we'll someday bring y'all out there to see what the barn looks like. But it's a 15,000 square foot, 200-year-old dairy cattle barn. It's huge. And so we went into the main area of the barn where Morgana was there to meet us. Morgana is helps facilitate the ritual rave. She is a Zumba guru from like 15 OG Zumba guru. So she had a playlist, and it's specially choreographed. And you can talk as long as you don't give away more than that right there. Right there.
I solemnly swear
you can't talk
that
past,
I'm up to no good.
You can't share past the music starting, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I just wanted to say the last song that you would ever expect started playing out of nowhere. To be standing in the woods and all of a sudden you just hear Sandstorm by, what is it, Duras? I can't remember the Darude, just blasting out of nowhere. It's just like, wait, what? Jenmary's like, let's follow the music. I'm like, I'm down because I'm so curious of all like, you think of witches and you think there's gonna be like Celtic music and it's gonna be all no, it's Sandstorm by Darude.
Sometimes it's Celtic music. It just depends on the vibe. This month's vibe was very like kind of techno heavy and very like celebratory. It's the solstice, so it was hot, right? Yeah, and the outfit prompt, the dressing prompt was kind of like
If the world got
weird, what are you gonna wear? Kind of the Matrix dance scene prompt. So yeah, sometimes it is Celtic music, sometimes it is like, Afro beats. Sometimes it just depends on the vibe, but this one was definitely like calling for some techno. It was great.
It was so great.
So when they came into the barn, I handed each of them a drawstring pouch filled with a variety of sunflower seeds. And if you know anything about sunflowers, they come in all shapes and sizes, and they are amazing. They kind of grow anywhere too. So they were all given a packet of sunflowers, and they were to charge those seeds with the energy that we were raising through a ritual rave, of course, because that's how we raise energy in this house. And so we danced hard. These witches were sweating. It was so great. And the pigs were excited about it. And it was amazing. And we charged the seeds. And after the ritual, for the next few days, they're all going to, that's the packet of seeds right there. They're going to take that with a stabby tool that we have.
I love
I
love the stabby tool.
So good.
to go anywhere on the 80 acres and just plant surprise sunflowers everywhere, so that when they start to come up, they will provide that community support that Morgana and I need as we co-steward this massive space for our community. And we are nurturing the seeds that they are planting in the gardens now, so that at harvest we can feed our community also. And so these seeds, I'm so looking forward to seeing them popping up all over the place. It's so freaking magical.
I have plans.
Do you now?
Excellent.
The only rule was that they could not plant them in the food garden that we're growing, because sunflowers don't always play well with others. But other than that, so that was the ritual that we did.
And then we shook it off at the end and danced and called in a storm on accident.
Well, it's not accident.
No, it wasn't really accidental.
We just weren't expecting a tornado.
Correct.
Thunder.
We asked for a thunder.
We were given tornadoes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to just kind of shake it off at the end too. But yeah, and then it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained some more.
Did I mention that they were flipping tables in the rain? I think that that's important to mention, that that we were all in galoshes and
It
like,
was raining.
it was raining. It was raining.
Thankful for hood.
Right.
Does anyone else have anything they want to say about the
I was
ritual?
gonna share a question.
Oh, sure.
We're ready for that.
We're-
We have someone asking, I think it's probably appropriate time to touch on it, who can visit the homestead? Because they haven't finished foundations as of yet, but how does that work with community coming in and visiting the homestead?
We have one event a year, which is this event, where it's open to anyone that wants to come. It's friends and family, so you have to have a connection to Weird Brook. You have to be invited and brought here. But Weird Brook is for our coven, and the reason for that is that we have done a lot of work in, oh, it's so hard to describe this without using any jargon. We've essentially created an alternate universe, like a whole place, a bubble that you can't even experience unless you know what it is that we're doing. You can't even see it. And so, yeah, it's that.
Yep. Anyone who hasn't engaged with the work that we do would be really overwhelmed by how different it is here from how you operate normally. If you have not engaged with this work, it can be overstimulating. You get to do a whole lot of shadow work real fast all at once, and we don't want that for anyone because it's painful and it's uncomfortable. And the thing is that like you see the experience that we're having, but it's not something that we're trying to package and sell to you. It's something that you have to walk towards. You have to take the steps to find your own path alongside, whoever is actually resonating alongside of you. If that's us, we're stoked about it.
we're literally, and I want to jump off of that too. I don't know if, I don't think that we express enough that, and I'm speaking for the Unbound, we again have dedicated our lives to helping you, right? We don't want your money, we want you specifically. And we want to see you supported through this process of the entire world is changing right now. And it is no accident that there are so many neurodivergent witches right now, especially black sheep, cycle breaking queerdos. And we are on this journey together of creating this reality where we can all thrive. And what Ocean was touching on, all of the rules that you have learned about your life don't apply here. They don't. And so if you came into this space and you're like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to act, it's not like that at all. And in order for that to be that way, we're all on the same page. We're all in this just one example, right? When we're talking about supporting a community of neurodivergent people, all of us have raging ADHD. All of us. So that is the norm. That's the default. So you don't have people apologizing for their nature here. You don't have people pushing themselves through because they got to get it done, because that's not how we operate. It is so much more important that how you do it than you getting something done, right? That's a big culture shock when people come here, um, because we're not like, hey, you got to do this, because there's a lot to do on a homestead. We are busy and doing hard work, but it's paced and it's shared. And it's, I can't describe it because as well as they can, because I experience it differently than they do. So do you guys want to talk about your experiences at Weird?
Yeah, and I think part of the question was like, how does like what are the parameters with being able to come here and finishing foundations? And it's not. It is because we operate so differently, and because everybody here has spent all of these years deconstructing those ideas around community and those ideas around relationships and such, that foundations program is what sets it up for success, to be able to, I mean, it changes you to your core, the foundations program, and how you interact with community. So we know how important that is for this community to continue, and so that is the path to Weird Brook, is through the foundations initiation program.
So the path here is inward. You have to turn inward before you can come to this space.
Right. Love that.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it. I did a whole podcast yesterday with Silver about my experience so far on Weird Brook. So if you would like to listen to that, that is also on our YouTube here. But I will say that Weird Brook is a matriarchal homestead where your sovereignty is not only respected, it is required in order to engage here. And sovereignty is not something that we really understand, like, a lot. Under a patriarchal society, you cannot understand matriarchy until you deconstruct. And it runs so much deeper than just male or female, right? Like when you think of matriarch and patriarch. And like, I mean, I'm gonna always come from a gender like effed perspective, pretty much. So uh Weird Brook is also deconstructing, is what it feels like. It feels like this place was so aligned with us because the Okay. Morgana has always belonged to our community.
Oh.
I feel that I've never seen a witch go from just being in the community to the support team so fast. Like they were so deeply aligned. They've always been a part of the community, even before, like all of us were before we even had a community. And you know that once you engage with us, oh, this is my community. And a lot of us have never felt that way before, so that can be really vulnerable and scary. So Morgana has always been a part of the community. Weird Brook called the community, and Morgana was the first witch to answer the call.
Ooh.
Is how I've been seeing it.
Well said. Yes.
Yeah, can confirm. I got summoned here right after Morgana, and the pull is strong. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, yep. That's very well said. I've been here since 2010. No, 2020. Gosh, look, time. It's an illusion.
The sandwich.
Since 2020, but the path to getting here was completely based on intuition. I visited the area and knew that I lived here, and then immediately found this house online, and I'm gonna say did a brave thing and left my entire life and moved my whole family across the country, because I knew that I had to be here. And then once I was on the ground here, knew that this was a place for community. I just didn't know at that point in time what that looked like. But once I engaged with Bright and Dark, it was very, very clear. And Jen Marie and I, our vision of the future, our path is the same. We've wanted the same things our whole lives, and I think that actually goes across all kinds of everyone. Not everyone, but you know what I mean. There's iterations on that future, but there's a reason that witches want to live in a cabin in the woods. And be close to nature and live with the seasons and engage in their lives in a very kind of real off-grid-ish type way. So yes, and I'm so happy and glad to hold this space, this safe container for people to come and explore what that path is for them. Yeah.
Fun fact that we didn't find out until after I too moved across the country.
Right.
When I was summoned to Weird Brook, that we found out just the most random conversation. But Morgana and I have a common ancestor,
right,
that is from 100 miles from here.
Right.
So I found that interesting when we discovered that. And our,
literally cousins.
I know, we're cousins.
Literally cousins.
And Silver and Arrow have also been to Weird Brook. Do you guys want to like weigh in? We've been kind of chatting a lot. They're currently playing Who's Gonna Go First, which is great to watch.
Silver, you've been more recently, so if you're down for it, you can share.
Thank you. I just had to turn my mic back on so that it didn't run out of juice. Yeah, no, it's I love hearing all about the ritual, and that sounds super fun. And I'm gonna have to do like my own table flipping ritual at some point because that sounds like so much fun. The like what's kind of calling out to me about my experience at Weird Brook, then for me the trees are the biggest aspect of it. I felt like I was like I've always been super connected to trees, and I feel like being in Weird Brook, being so far away from anything else, right? You're just surrounded by forest, and that you just are like, for me, I was just connected to the forest like the whole time. It felt like that my nervous system had like synced up to the trees, because I often will think of, you know, like our brain and then our vagus nerve and then our stomach as like the branches and trunk and roots of a tree. And it felt like I had hooked up to all of the trees, and therefore there was so much more that I could process and digest that being not in the middle of a huge forest didn't really allow for. And energetically speaking, it felt like I could really like stretch out, right? Like I think that witches have big energy, and we don't really know how big it is, and we're used to like being all like this big creature cramped up in this little space and you know, adding to these feelings of like needing to shrink and being too much and et cetera, right? Or the thing that came up when you asked that question, or when you just talked about the question of what's stopping you from being in community, it was literally like that I would get hurt or someone else, or I would hurt someone else. And then when I was just talking about that, I was like imagining this big creature like trying not to step on someone, right? Like, and that's kind of what I think Weirdbrook gives you, this experience of being able to fully, you know, stretch your wings slash limbs of all kinds, tentacles. I don't know. You know, we're all different beings here. um, and get really familiar with what it feels like to be able to do that. What safety literally in your body, like physical body and energetic body, feels like. So that was one of the biggest, you know, takeaways for me, was just being that surrounded and integrated with the forest. And let's see. Yeah, it's also just a very active house. And I see that the forest and the house are also like integrated and like talking, like during our conversation, Ocean and my conversation yesterday. It felt like there was like this conversation that's been happening between the house, Evangeline, and the forest, and that it was like a conscious decision between them to be like, let's call some witches here that, you know what's up, know where we're headed. So I love seeing all the energy that you guys have like collected together as well. It was very fun watching the bounce, and I'm excited to be up there with y'all soon. Pass it to Era.
So I think my thought on the difference of like I've coordinated all of our previous get-togethers and rituals that we've done. This is actually the first one that I've not been a part of. Let me tell you how much fun that shadow work has been working through. It's great. It's amazing. So much fun. Gotta love it. But it's also important, and I'm sitting with it, But the difference with being at Weirdbrook and having a ritual and being in, other places. We have used a event venue. We've been in a hotel. We've been in Airbnbs, and having a place that, like what Ocean and Silver were talking about in their podcast, of it being a place that is welcoming and a place that wants to have this energy and appreciates it and is like almost craving it. That feeling of being there is just so, like, I'm getting goosebumps again thinking about the last time I was there and the ritual. It was the first ritual that we had in the barn, and it was like the barn was just so excited, and like the land was so excited. You could just feel it, and having a place that's curated for that. And I could just imagine the difference now too. Like I'm going to be back there in September. I booked my flight, so it's happening. Yay. And I cannot wait to feel the difference in having witches be there, and like it is doing, that space is doing what it's meant to be doing. And that is just like the coolest feeling ever, of like walking in and like, yeah, I've been here before. Never been there before, but my spirit, my energy knows this. It's just like when we meet each other in person, you think, oh, I really know this person, but I've never met them in person, and it's going to be awkward, and it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to do, and I'm nervous about it. And then you get into each other's presence, and it's like, oh yeah, we've known each other for years, clearly. That's my take on Weird Brook.
That was totally my experience too. Like when I first stepped in, I was like, I feel like I know this place even though I've never been here. I've never been this far east before. Like Maine, randomly. It just I if you had asked me a year ago if I would be like here doing this, I would have been like Maine. I don't think so. I'm not. I don't. They have ticks over there.
And then yesterday you're out there with a chainsaw.
So we were clearing a path yesterday, and the image I would love to give you is like me with like a machete, just like clearing a path. No, I had a chainsaw actually, and it was much cooler, but it was a lot less of the like dynamic swinging. It was more like the very concentrated, don't cut your hand, don't cut your hand. Or your foot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It felt so good though. And like the perspective I had when I first went into it was like, oh, I feel bad. It feels like I'm chopping, these things off. It feels like I'm kind of like, killing some trees and brambles and stuff. And like, at first I was like, okay, that's how I'm thinking about it. But what if I actually feel into it? So as I did the next few, I was like really feeling into it. I was like, oh, it's a haircut. And like it's so cool to be like seeing the structure of the forest, how it like wraps around each other and supports each other. And when I was pulling out like trees, you could see them holding on to each other. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm taking your friend, but you're coming next. So, but I realized it was like, these weren't these trees, it seems like, in my experience so far, do not operate like autonomous beings. They operate like a hive mind with the trees around them. So it wasn't like I was killing individual trees, it was trimming back the trees that are already there. It was doing shadow work with the forest of like what needs to go so we can clear the path for like, movement. And like I'm getting like a chariot metaphor with like the cards and stuff. um access, it was an access road specifically. And it's really funny because I've been having trouble with my computer, so the exact same day I'm working on that, I gave Morgana all my passwords and pin numbers and stuff and access right to all my stuff. And you were telling, do you want to, you were telling me,
I mean, Jen,
oh
Yep.
oh my gosh, this flew by so fast.
Yeah. but just very quickly to the access, before this event, Jen and I were talking about kind of what projects we were going to do and if there's any theme around that, and the theme was access. So it all kind of ties together as it does.
And everything that we cut down yesterday, we're going to be using to build more of the infrastructure of the garden beds and things like that. So we're using everything that we're taking out. I think that's important to note.
I love the shadow work aspect of trimming back the trees and the path in the forest. Like always way to bring it back to the shadow work every time. That's a beautiful analogy, and I love that. Yeah. Arrow had mentioned September. I will be coming back in September. I'm lucky enough to be able to drive here. It's a long drive, but I can get here within the day. And there will be I just cannot wait to see graduating foundations members in person, right, in physical space. Yeah, and for them to be able to experience and add to what is being built here at Weird Brook. And I got like full body goosebumps about it because I'm really very excited to add that into the mix now and to grow the community in this space. And I'm just really looking forward to that.
We do all of this, and we are doing all of this for you. Like, we're doing this is for you. And I'm speaking to the foundation's witches, the witches that have done that, really, that have walked the path of a witch born of shadow and are ready to claim their birthright. We're doing this for you. We talk about you every single day.
All the time.
All the time. We know your names. We know what you're into.
Yeah.
Because it's so important that you are well supported. And so if there's ever anything that you need, we are literally waiting with bated breath for you to be like, I'm going to advocate for my practice. I need this. Wouldn't it be cool if we had this? Any of those kinds of suggestions. And we're like, we're on it. We're really into it. So that time went by so fast. Am I right? Does it say
57, doesn't it? I don't know.
we're so far away
Yeah,
from the screen?
it is,
My
yeah.
goodness.
that's
Do we have any like a last minute question that we can chime in on?
Oh. Yeah. I think we covered the ones that I saw. Huh?
This was fun. Next month, we're going to be talking about.
Maybe.
Oh, we're going to be talking about maybe, yeah, if we don't go rogue again. I don't think we're going to go rogue, but I don't plan it. It wouldn't be going rogue if you planned it, right? I think I don't make the rules. So I don't know. In July, we take a really good look at our giftings, the things that we're really good at, and our relationship with being acknowledged or acknowledging the things that we're really good at, which is some deep shadow work. And so we'll be talking about that and our social conditioning associated with actually saying what we're really good at and actually being able to celebrate our accomplishments with our community and not have to try and shrink ourselves to fit in. So there. That's what we're going to be talking about next month. Thank you so much to everyone who took the time to hang out with us today. Thank you to everyone who is listening to our podcast, which is doing so well on Spotify right now. So thank you for sharing that with your friends and everyone that you believe would benefit from being exposed to us, to our exposure. I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to say it like that, but thank you for letting us expose ourselves to you publicly. Really appreciate the support. I think that's it. Do you want to lead us out?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much.
Because I don't have my
but
notes.
yeah, so please be sure to like and follow on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify and you want to see the video version, that's available on our YouTube at Bright and Dark Center. And I think that's the gist of it. So until we see you again, be curious, stay curious, trust your own wisdom, and we will see you again in the weave.
Bye, everyone.